Ferrari said to AXE Sebastian Vettel for Michael Schumacher's son Mick in stunning move. Ferrari have not won a world title since 2007, but when they signed Vettel, who won 4 in a row with Red Bull, they thought their fortune would change. However, the German has been unable to get the better of Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton or Nico Rosberg over the last 5 years. To make matters worse, Vettel has not even secured a podium spot on either of the opening 2 races this year. And Italian outlet Corriere dello Sport claimed the prancing horse are considering handing Mick Schumacher, son of legendary driver Michael, a seat alongside Charles Leclerc, who starred in Bahrain on Sunday. Ferrari looks to a future in which there is no room for Vettel, Corriere dello Sport report. Mick Schumacher could soon be at the side of the talented Charles Leclerc. Schumacher was promoted to F2 for the upcoming season after winning the F3 championship last year. The 20-year-old is set to test Ferrari's F1 car for the first time today at Bahrain Grand Prix track. Meanwhile, Leclerc drove a stunning weekend in Bahrain and secured a maiden pole position. The Monegasque then comfortably led the race after recovering from a poor start and was on course for the win until his Ferrari lost power. That allowed Hamilton to steal the victory and Valtteri Bottas finished second. A virtual safety car did stop Red Bull's Max Verstappen overlapping as Leclerc claimed third place. Honestly, you can't believe your luck in those scenarios. But what can you do? Hamilton said. You can't deny yourself, you just have to keep doing what you're doing and pushing ahead. I've been in positions like that, I've been in the lead many times when the car has stopped. I know how it feels. Next news: Charles Leclerc told to copy Ferrari legend Michael Schumacher after Bahrain heartbreak. Charles Leclerc has been told to learn from Ferrari legend Michael Schumacher after his Bahrain Grand Prix heartbreak. The 21-year-old looked to be coasting to his first victory and only for an engine problem to ruin his weekend. Leclerc eventually finished third with Lewis Hamilton taking the win from Mercedes teammate Valtteri Bottas. Brundle believes it was the first time we heard a more animated Leclerc over his team radio and has told the youngster to learn from Schumacher and his handling of cars that had problems. He told Sky Sports, "It's the first time we've heard Charles on the radio sounding ragged and animated, but he soon calmed that down and managed his problems to the end of the race." Michael Schumacher was the master of maximizing the pace of a nailing car, and Charles needs to investigate that. But nonetheless, he was able to bring it home on the podium with the help of the safety car deployed to recover the stricken Renaults. He was most magnanimous and charming post-race, serving only to make us even more sorry for him. The dynamics of the Ferrari pairing will be fascinating this year, just as we expected. And the open calmness of the whole team is a breath of fresh air which is paying dividends. Team boss Mattia Binotto impresses me greatly in his authority and maturity. Brundle also believes Hamilton would have rather Leclerc win as he dominated the whole weekend in Bahrain. The Sky F1 pundit added, "I've rarely witnessed so many F1 fans and paddock folk willing on one driver to win, regardless of their normal partisan support and associations." I sensed even Lewis Hamilton would have been satisfied to finish second to young Charles Leclerc in his rapid Mad Red Ferrari. F1 returns with their 1000th championship round next time out. The Chinese Grand Prix takes place from April 12 to 14. Last year the race was won by Daniel Ricciardo, who has since left Red Bull for Renault. Leclerc will hope to pick up his first ever victory in Formula One next time out and make up for disappointment in Bahrain. Next news: Sebastian Vettel, why Ferrari ace and Charles Leclerc struggled in Melbourne, Marco. That is according to Red Bull Supremo Helmut Marko, who says Haas suffered the same issues during their opening race of 2019. Ferrari pair Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc finished 4th and 5th respectively in Melbourne. They saw rivals Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton complete a resounding 1-2 for Mercedes. Vettel's performance significantly dropped off as the race went on. And Marco says Ferrari is aware of what went wrong. It's quite clear that Ferrari has underperformed. And also Haas, Marco told. We don't know exactly, but I think they just cut back on performance because they had cooling problems. The Haas was suddenly slower in relation to the rest of the field compared to its long-run pace in pre-season testing. Bottas' win and bonus point for the fastest last means the Finn already has 26 points in the F1 World Drivers' Championship battle. Came a miserable 4th, with Max Verstappen in the Red Bull clinching 3rd place. Mercedes themselves revealed after the Grand Prix their understanding of why Vettel suddenly dropped off the pace. And Marco says the Germans' tires were also an issue. One indication is that Charles Leclerc was faster with the white tires, hards, than Vettel with the yellow ones, mediums, said Marco. This means that something was wrong. Vettel only drove 3 halfway fast laps and then his pace dropped. Ferrari was no danger on the yellow tire due to the temperature and their tire degradation. We were on the other hand did not have any issues with degradation and were not even on the limit. Next news F1 news, Red Bull boss hits at Mercedes and Ferrari theory. Ferrari struggled in the season opening Grand Prix in Australia a fortnight ago. Mercedes secured a 1-2 finish while Max Verstappen scooped the final podium place. The Ferrari pair of Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc came 4th and 5th, respectively, which was way below their expectations. Worries have been raised over whether the Italian outfit are failing because they have adopted a different front-wing philosophy to their rivals. But Marco does not believe that is the issue. I think that theory is overrated, Marco told Autosport.com. The front wing more or less determines the concept of the car. But there are many other things in the front area that play a role as well. There are the different concepts, but in terms of race pace only, race winner Valtteri Bottas was a step above the rest. Ferrari and Red Bull were on the same level. Instead, Marco believes the F1 authorities have tightened some regulations which Ferrari were exploiting. The FIA reacted very well and closed several loopholes, or at least minimized them, he added. This means that these speed peaks, which Ferrari had on the last 25% or 30% of the straights, no longer exist. That's good. Red Bull will be looking to continue their strong start to the campaign at the Bahrain Grand Prix this weekend. Next news F1 news, Ross Brawn issues Ferrari demand to Mercedes, Red Bull and Co. The F1 strategy group met in London this week to discuss an array of topics as Liberty Media and the FIA look to develop the pinnacle of motorsport. And one of the subjects up for debate is the way money generates a split between the 10 teams which line up on the grid at each race. Ferrari, the most successful team in the history of the sport, receive considerably more than the likes of Mercedes and Red Bull. Managing Director of Motorsports Brawn, who was an integral part of Ferrari's glorious stint in the 2000s, has spoken out on their status as F1 teams lobby for a bigger slice of the pie. Ferrari is special, Brawn told German outlet. The other teams must understand that the Scuderia must be treated with respect. But the balance has to be right. Because we will never attract new teams and manufacturers, if it is not financially attractive to win in Formula One. I think Ferrari also recognized that. F1 teams currently receive 68% of the revenue the sport generates each year. While that figure is likely to increase, it remains to be seen which of the teams will benefit most. Are battling this season to end a trophy drought which stretches back to their 2008 World Constructors' Championship success. Former Benetton and Renault chief, though, does not see the prancing horse having much chance of securing glory. It will be very hard for them, Briatore said, when asked about Ferrari's hopes this season. Nothing has changed since last year. They had 3 months of winter to prepare the cars and Ferrari did not even close the gap to Mercedes. With Mercedes so strong, the only competition is between Hamilton and Bottas. To beat them, Ferrari needs to recover 8-9 tenths. I say Mercedes will continue to dominate. Ferrari will be looking to bounce back from a disappointing Australian Grand Prix when this weekend's race takes place in Bahrain. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to share and subscribe to your channel to get the latest sports news around the world. Wished health and success. Goodbye.